Protein is an essential component of our diet, and there are 4 types of proteins that you should consume and 6 that you should avoid at all costs. On the other hand, not all proteins are created equal when it comes to those who have kidney disease. The kidneys are responsible for filtering out waste from the body, particularly waste that is produced when protein is broken down. This is an extremely important function. The consumption of the incorrect kinds of protein can place additional strain on the kidneys, which can lead to the worsening of existing damage, an increase in blood urea levels, and an increase in the acid load within the body. Kidney disease may progress more quickly as a result of this development. However, this does not mean that you should completely abstain from consuming protein because your body requires it in order to keep your muscles in good condition, to promote healing, and to keep your energy levels high. The trick is to select the appropriate sources of protein that reduce the amount of work that your kidneys have to do and deliver the nutrients that your body needs. In today's post, I will discuss 4 proteins that are extremely advantageous for kidney health, as well as 6 proteins that you should steer clear of in order to safeguard your kidney function. We will also go over how to cook these proteins, how much of each one to consume, and some helpful hints for purchasing high-quality items that are sold in your neighborhood stores. Be sure to stay attentive until the very end, because there is a bonus tip that could boost the health of your kidneys by a simple habit that you do every day. Now, let's begin by talking about one of the protein sources that is the least harmful to kidneys and therefore the cleanest: the egg whites. For individuals who are experiencing kidney issues, egg whites are among the most beneficial sources of protein. They offer a protein that has a very high biological value, which means that they include all of the important amino acids that your body need in the precise amounts that it requires. Egg whites, on the other hand, only contain about 10 milligrams of phosphorus per large egg white, which is a substantial amount less than the 86 milligrams of phosphorus that are contained in a whole egg. Phosphorus is a mineral that individuals with renal disease need to pay particular attention to, because when the kidneys are unable to clear excess phosphorus, it accumulates and begins to create problems with the bones and the heart. Egg whites, in comparison to red meats, contain a lower amount of saturated fats, further contributing to the prevention of cardiovascular disease, which is a significant worry among kidney patients. On average, each egg white contains approximately 3.6 grams of high-quality protein, making it an ideal source of protein for maintaining muscle maintenance without being too much for your kidneys to handle. During the course of a day, how many egg whites do you consume? Whether or not you have tried using them as a source of protein, please let me know. In terms of preparation, it is recommended that 3 to 4 egg whites be consumed on a daily basis, with the ideal method being boiling or steaming rather than frying. Keeping the protein clean and avoiding the addition of lipids that are damaging to your kidneys is accomplished by boiling or steaming it. For a wide range of delicious options, you may use egg whites into a variety of foods, such as kidney-friendly stir-fries, handmade wraps, or porridge. On the other hand, you should exercise caution when adding cheese or salted spices to your diet, because they might raise the amounts of phosphorus and sodium in your diet, both of which are detrimental to the health of your kidneys. Selecting the appropriate eggs is another essential step. Choose organic eggs that have been reared on pasture whenever it is possible to do so, because they typically contain less additives and have superior nutritional profiles. It is important to select liquid egg whites from cartons that do not include any additives or preservatives if you intend to use them. Have you observed a distinction in the quality of eggs that are organic as opposed to those that are conventional? I am quite interested in hearing your thoughts on this matter. The use of egg whites by kidney patients is frequently accompanied by a few common errors. The first thing you should do is refrain from eating the yolks because they contain a significant amount of phosphorus, which can put a strain on your kidneys. Egg whites that have been fried in butter or oil contain undesirable fats, including saturated and trans fats, which can be detrimental to the health of the kidneys and the heart. Additionally, taking raw egg whites on a daily basis might result in a deficit of biotin, which is a vitamin that is necessary for the metabolism of energy. Therefore, it is preferable to cook them completely first. I have noticed considerable changes in energy levels and laboratory markers in patients who replace meat with egg whites 3 to 4 times per week. This is based on my experience as a physician who has worked with kidney patients for a number of years. This one small change has the potential to make a meaningful effect. Which alternative sources of protein have you added to your diet? You are welcome to share your experience with us. Let's move on to the next topic, which is a plant-based protein that is so smooth and creamy that it can surprise you with its benefits. It's tofu. A message from you would be greatly appreciated before we proceed. From what vantage point are you looking, and which of your health goals is most important to you at this moment? It is imperative that you subscribe to this channel and enable notifications if you place a high value on maintaining your health, strength, and independence. Have you found that this kind of stuff is actually helpful to you on your journey? If that is the case, please leave a remark below. In that case, provide a 0. Because of your feedback, future videos will be better. The use of tofu, which is a plant-based protein, is associated with numerous advantages for kidney sufferers. A serving of tofu that is half a cup in size offers approximately 10 grams of protein, which is an excellent way to fulfill your daily requirements. It is important to note that it only includes approximately 121 milligrams of phosphorus, which is a significantly smaller amount the majority of animal proteins have. The importance of this cannot be overstated, because an excessive amount of phosphorus can hasten the damage to the kidneys and raise the risk of cardiovascular issues. According to studies conducted at the University of California, tofu contains a high concentration of isoflavones and antioxidants, which are substances that have been demonstrated to prevent inflammation in kidney tissues. It is possible to enhance kidney function and reduce the progression of the disease by reducing inflammation. Furthermore, tofu is simple to digest and does not create a significant stress on the kidneys from a filtration standpoint. Have you incorporated plant-based proteins into your diet, such as tofu, at any point? Leave a comment below describing the way in which you cook it. Tofu can be enjoyed in a variety of ways, depending on the sort of tofu that you choose. As a result of its versatility, soft or silky tofu may be easily incorporated into your diet. It can be used as a substitute for eggs in scrambled conditions or added to smoothies. Be careful to use a low-sodium soy sauce substitute when baking or stir-frying firm tofu. This will help you avoid consuming an excessive amount of salt, which can lead to a rise in blood pressure and make renal problems even more severe. In order to meet the body's requirements for protein without overburdening the kidneys, the recommended serving size is approximately half a cup per day, which should be ingested approximately 3 times per week. When purchasing tofu, it is recommended to select brands that are organic and do not include genetically modified organisms. These brands typically have less additives and chemicals. It is essential to steer clear of pre-marinated tofu products because they frequently include high levels of monosodium and sodium glutamate, both of which have the potential to result in elevated blood pressure and fluid retention. Have you ever looked at the labels of processed foods like tofu or other foods to see if there were any hidden phosphate additives? What are your ideas on attentively reading labels? Please share them with me. When it comes to tofu, there are errors that are frequently made. It should not be consumed with processed sauces that are heavy in sodium or sugar, because doing so makes the kidney-friendly advantages of the food null and void. Deep frying tofu also results in the introduction of oxidized lipids, which are detrimental to the health of the kidneys and the heart. Last, but not least, it is important to constantly read the ingredient lists of tofu products carefully, because some of them contain phosphate additions that increase the phosphorus load. Over the course of my 15 years of experience working with kidney patients, I have found that tofu has become a dependable source of protein that satisfies nutritional requirements without placing an excessive stress on the kidneys. If you have not yet experimented with trying to replace some of your animal protein with tofu, this could be a good time to think about doing so. Which proteins derived from plants have shown to be effective for you? It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with me. Following that, we will shift our focus to a protein that comes from the ocean and has a subtle flavor, but is quite beneficial to the health of the kidneys: the tilapia. Tilapia is a fish that tends to be low in fat and provides an excellent source of protein for individuals who have kidney problems. There are around 170 milligrams of phosphorus and approximately 22 grams of protein per 100 grams of fish, making it a low-fat and low-phosphorus food. The high protein level helps boost muscle strength and tissue repair, while the low phosphorus content helps lessen the mineral building that kidney patients need to avoid. Furthermore, kidney patients must prevent mineral buildup. Tilapia is also easy to digest since it has a moderate flavor and a lean profile. This makes it less likely to cause digestive discomfort, which is something that some renal patients suffer when they consume larger proteins. In addition, tilapia is a good source of selenium and vitamin B12, two elements that are essential for the general metabolism of the kidneys and for lowering the amount of oxidative stress that the kidneys experience. Have you ever considered include fish in your diet in order to make it more kidney-friendly? Leave a comment below with your favorite recipes. It is suggested that 1 to 2 servings be consumed on a weekly basis, with each serving consisting of around 4 ounces. The ways of cooking are quite significant. Cooking methods such as grilling, baking, or steaming are ideal for maintaining a light and kidney-friendly fish dish. Steer clear of breading and sauces that are rich since they contribute additional sodium and bad fats. Enhancing the flavor of tilapia by combining it with fresh herbs like parsley or lemon zest can be done without increasing the amount of salt or potassium in the dish. Which method of cooking fish do you prefer? It is interesting to know whether you make frequent use of fresh herbs. Look for fresh or frozen tilapia that comes from farms that have a good reputation and adhere to stringent quality requirements when you are looking for tilapia. Steer clear of imports from any suppliers that are known to have inferior safety requirements. In order to obtain superior nutrients and a lower level of pollutants, it is recommended to consume wild-caught tilapia, or those that have been approved by the United States Department of Agriculture. Which type of fish do you often purchase, wild-caught or farm-raised? When it comes to quality, your shopping habits might make a significant difference. Tilapia products that have been breaded or fried should be avoided at all costs because they contain excessive fats and sodium. Additionally, the consumption of tilapia with high potassium sides, like as mashed potatoes, may cause an increase in potassium intake that exceeds the acceptable limits. Therefore, it is prudent to change the kind of side dish accordingly. As a physician who has worked with kidney patients for a considerable amount of time, I have had the opportunity to observe that lean fish like tilapia offer an exceptional source of protein without the metabolic stress that is associated with red meat. Consequently, patients are able to keep their strength and improve their test readings without seeing a decline in their renal function. If you are following a renal diet, what is your experience with fish? Your feedback is welcome down below. You should stay with me because the last 2 can take you by surprise. Each of them has a significant influence, and there is a good possibility that at least one of them is something that you have never encountered before. Now, let's talk about a grain-based protein source that is frequently overlooked despite the fact that it is quite excellent for the health of the kidneys. It's quinoa. Kidney sufferers should really include quinoa in their diet because it is a grain-based protein that is quite strong. This protein is considered to be a complete protein, which means that it contains all 9 of the essential amino acids that the body is unable to make on its own. The fact that quinoa contains around 8 grams of protein per cup of cooked quinoa makes it an excellent choice for a plant-based diet. Since potassium and phosphorus are minerals that renal patients need to carefully control, quinoa has a lower potassium and phosphorus content than the majority of legumes. By facilitating regular bowel movements and healthy digestion, its high fiber content also helps minimize the accumulation of uremic toxins in the body, which is another benefit of fiber consumption. Have you ever experimented with quinoa as a substitute for protein? It would be helpful if you could provide your comments on how it tastes and how simple it is to prepare. The recommended amount of cooked quinoa to consume on a daily basis is between half a cup and 1 cup, and it should ideally be had as part of a light lunch or dinner. When combined with veggies that have been steamed or tofu that has been stir-fried, it makes for a well-rounded dinner. It is essential to properly rinse quinoa before cooking it, since this removes the bitter saponins that are present on the surface. These saponins can have an impact on both taste and digestion. Prior to cooking, does quinoa need to be rinsed? Does it make a difference for you if that is the case? When shopping for quinoa, it is recommended to select pre-rinsed varieties or to rinse the quinoa yourself in order to eliminate any bitterness that may be present. Choosing organic quinoa can both lessen the likelihood of being exposed to pesticides and contribute to an overall improvement in health. One of the mistakes that should be avoided is cooking quinoa with high sodium stock or flavor packets, since they can add salt that is not exactly what is desired. Additionally, the kidney-friendly effects of quinoa are mitigated when it is served with salty cheeses. For this reason, it is vital to carefully check the labels of instant quinoa products, because they frequently contain extra sodium or tastes. Now that we have discussed proteins that you ought to consume, we will transfer our attention to proteins that you should, under any circumstances, steer clear of if you want to safeguard the health of your kidneys. The first type of beef is a deceptive one that is frequently considered to be healthful: the bacon made from turkey. In the belief that turkey bacon is a more nutritious option than conventional bacon, many individuals choose for turkey bacon. On the other hand, it is highly processed and has a significant amount of sodium. Approximately 500 milligrams of sodium is contained in each slice. Already, that is more than 20% of the daily limit for someone who has kidney problems at this point. Having an excessive amount of sodium causes fluid retention and raises blood pressure, which places further strain on kidneys that are already having difficulty filtering waste in an appropriate manner. Both the flavor and the shelf life of turkey bacon are improved by the use of phosphate preservatives, in addition to sodium. Processed meals contain phosphorus that is absorbed by the body more readily than phosphorus that comes from natural sources. This means that processed foods increase the phosphorus load more quickly. Phosphorus levels that are too high can cause kidney impairment and bone problems to progress more quickly, because they upset the calcium balance in the body. There are a lot of patients who are unaware that these compounds are concealed in items that are marketed as being healthful or low in fat. What kinds of consequences have you observed as a result of consuming processed meats such as turkey bacon? Please share your thoughts and experiences on sodium and renal health in the comment section below. The best method to ensure your health is to go for fresh, natural meals rather than processed alternatives. Are you of the opinion that the standards governing labeling should be more stringent for these phosphate additives? Please share your responses with me. Moving forward, red lentils are frequently lauded for their nutritive plant-based protein content. However, kidney patients should be aware of the hidden hazards associated with consuming them. In spite of the fact that they are derived from plants, red lentils have a high density of both potassium and phosphorus. Since 1 cup of cooked red lentils contains more than 350 milligrams of phosphorus and 700 milligrams of potassium, kidneys that are unable to maintain an appropriate electrolyte balance may become overwhelmed by the amount of these nutrients. It is simple to take an excessive amount of them without being aware of the cumulative effect that they have on kidney workload. This is due to the fact that they are frequently used in stews, soups, and curries. Increased potassium levels can lead to potentially life-threatening heart rhythm issues, while an excessive amount of phosphorus can hasten the decrease of renal function. People who have chronic renal disease need to pay close attention not only to the amount of protein they consume, but also to the minerals they consume. Are you a regular eater who incorporates lentils into your diet? How can you control the amount of potassium and phosphorus that you consume by managing the portion sizes? I am very interested in hearing about your strategies in the comments section below. Please keep in mind that the mere fact that something is derived from plants does not necessarily guarantee that it is kidney-friendly. Next, let's take a more in-depth look at hot dogs, a traditional comfort meal that many people try to steer clear of when they are thinking about eating healthily. On account of the high levels of sodium nitrates, processed fats, and phosphate additions that are found in hot dogs, they are especially detrimental to the health of the kidneys. Nitrates of sodium, which are used to color and preserve meat, cause an increase in the body's acid load as well as inflammation. The excessive acid makes kidney function worse because it increases the amount of waste that the kidneys have to filter out of the body. In addition to causing inflammation, this also causes an increase in blood pressure, which, over time, causes more damage to the kidneys. Heat-treated lipids, which are contained in hot dogs, are frequently oxidized and contribute to oxidative stress, which is a significant contributor to kidney cell damage. Despite the fact that they are extremely popular, many people are unaware of the fact that hot dogs and other processed meats are among the worst sources of protein for kidney dysfunction. When it comes to your kidney function, have you ever given any thought to the influence that processed meats have? Leave a comment below with your views or experiences. In order to keep kidney health in good condition, it is preferable to consume fresh lean meats or substitutes that are derived from plants. We will now discuss whey protein isolates, which are a popular supplement that is frequently marketed as a healthy way to increase the amount of protein that one consumes. The filtration load that is placed on the kidneys is increased as a result of the extraordinarily high levels of phosphorus and nitrogen byproducts that are found in whey protein isolates. This is especially the case when the substance is eaten in high quantities or by those who have impaired renal function. The kidneys have to exert more effort in order to eliminate the nitrogen waste that is produced as a result of the metabolism of these proteins, which might hasten the progression of damage over time. Whey isolates, in contrast to whole food sources, do not contain the balancing elements that are necessary for kidney health, such as fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins. These nutrients assist reduce inflammation and support kidney health in general. Many individuals are unaware of the fact that protein supplements, despite the fact that they may promote muscle growth, can be harmful to kidneys if they are not selected with care. Are you familiar with the utilization of whey protein? Did you experience any changes in your energy levels or the health of your kidneys? I would appreciate it if you could share your experiences with me by leaving a comment below. It is usually preferable to obtain protein from whole meals, as these foods are more gentle in their support of renal function. Second, despite the fact that they come from plants, black beans in cans are a pantry staple that can be problematic for people who have kidney function issues. Canning produces a significant increase in the amount of salt and potassium that is added to the beans. The potassium content of 1 cup of canned black beans is over 600 milligrams, which is a large burden for individuals who have kidney impairment. This is the case even after draining the beans. The sodium level of the canning liquid causes an increase in blood pressure as well as fluid retention, both of which are detrimental to the health of the kidneys. People have a tendency to consume enormous portions without being aware of the amount of potassium and sodium that they take in through this method. While it is possible to lower the mineral content of dried beans by soaking and rinsing them, canned beans are more difficult to manage and frequently contain chemicals that are not readily apparent. Which type of beans do you prefer, canned or dried? When it comes to preparing beans, how do you handle the salt and potassium levels? Leave a remark below and share your advice with me. A reduction in these hazards can be achieved by selecting canned beans with a low salt content or by properly soaking dried beans. Beefsteak, particularly lean cuts, is sometimes considered to be a healthy source of protein. Nonetheless, it is associated with a number of kidney-related concerns that are not readily apparent. Phosphorus and saturated fat, both of which contribute to the aggravation of renal disease, are found in extremely high concentrations in beefsteak. The presence of saturated fat is associated with an increase in inflammation as well as the promotion of atherosclerosis, which causes blood arteries to become constricted and reduces the flow of blood to the kidneys. A high phosphorus concentration has the potential to hasten the development of bone and cardiac problems that are typical of chronic renal disease. In addition, the metabolism of beef results in the production of high quantities of uric acid, which can also lead to gout, a painful ailment that is frequently observed in individuals who have kidney disease. Due to the complex protein and lipid profile of beef, even lean cuts of beef inflict stress on the kidney's ability to filter through the blood. The discovery that even moderate amounts of red meat can hasten the decrease of renal function comes as a surprise to a great number of patients. For you, what is your preferred source of protein? When it comes to kidney health, do you try to minimize your consumption of red meat? I am very interested in hearing your viewpoint, so please express it here. Including more proteins that are favorable to the kidneys can help preserve function for a longer period of time. Now, let's move our attention to a straightforward routine that you can have every day to complement all of your nutritional efforts. Walking first thing in the morning. Immediately after waking up, walking for 20 to 30 minutes improves circulation and increases the amount of oxygen that is delivered to the kidneys. The kidneys are able to filter waste more efficiently and experience less strain as a result of the increased blood flow. Walking on a regular basis helps to maintain control of blood sugar levels and reduces blood pressure, both of which are among the most important factors that contribute to renal impairment. Walking helps flush out fluids that have been held overnight, which in turn reduces swelling and improves kidney function overall. This is done after a night of rest. The glomerular filtration rate and insulin sensitivity are both improved by morning physical exercise, according to research conducted by institutes such as the Cleveland Clinic. This has a direct positive impact on the health of the kidneys. After introducing daily walks into their routine, patients I have worked with frequently report feeling less fatigued, experiencing less edema, and seeing an improvement in their mood. To maintain the health of your kidneys, have you tried going for a stroll in the morning? In what ways did you realize the benefits? You are welcome to share your experience by leaving a comment below. Combined with a diet that is kidney-friendly, this straightforward practice has the potential to make a significant impact. To ensure that you are able to recall the most important things and immediately begin making adjustments, let's get everything together. Your brief summary is presented here. Egg whites provide you with a high-quality protein that does not put your kidneys under any stress. Additionally, tofu is a plant-based source that can assist in the reduction of inflammation. The lean protein and low-phosphorus content of tilapia make it an excellent choice for digestion that is soft. As a source of complete protein, quinoa is beneficial to digestion and energy levels. You should steer clear of foods like turkey bacon, red lentils, hot dogs, whey isolates, canned black beans, and beefsteak, since they all cause your kidneys to get overloaded. Not to mention, a stroll in the morning is a great way to get your kidneys off to a good start for the day. Click the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you found this to be of genuine benefit. In the following video, I will also discuss a rather little matter that has the potential to significantly impact the health of your kidneys. Keep an eye out.